Okay guys, I'm going to show you how to make a chocolate rose. I have one here that I made before and it's delicious. It smells really good. I wish you could smell this. So these are really fun to make out of either dark chocolate or white chocolate. It doesn't really matter. That's my cake alarm. Just ignore that. So the first thing we're going to do is start off with our logs of modeling chocolate. And you need a thick one and a thin one for the small and large petals. And a little tool to cut your petals. A spoon to form your petals. And a handy dandy spoon tray. I don't know, I use these to form the rose petals, and these are just spoons that have been snapped off and glued to a piece of cardboard. So, I'm just gonna show you how to make the basic steps, and then we're gonna put it together. I'm gonna start off with a cone of modeling chocolate. I just formed this into a little cone shape. Doesn't matter what shape it is, or how big it is, I should say. And I'm going to slice off a couple of pieces to make our inner cone petals. So I'm going to do 4 pieces, just like that. Keep your modeling chocolate covered in plastic wrap so it doesn't dry out. I also use shortening to keep my petals from getting crusty. And I'm just going to thin the edges here. I'm not going to take a ton of time to do this because these are just going to be the very center edges. Using my spoon to smooth out. If you get little holes and imperfections, don't worry about it. That just kind of adds to the look. And I'm just going to fold that over our cone to get our first level. And I'm just going to pinch off the excess that I don't need. And I'm going to repeat that with these other 3 petals. And this modeling chocolate that I have is not very good. I made this and didn't follow my own advice, and I didn't mix halfway through. So I have little lumps in here that I have to work around, which is no big deal, but follow the instructions, don't be like me. The link to making your own modeling chocolate is just down there in the description to this video. I'm just going to go at the halfway mark, start my next petal and wrap that around. Pinch off any excess. And as I'm smushing these petals, I'm leaving one side thick. I'm only smushing one side to make it thinner. And this keeps your petals from laying too close to each other. Too much tearing. Halfway, wrap that around. Make sure they stay open. Last one. You can see that one side is thicker than the other side's thinner. You can also buy your own modeling chocolate. I buy my modeling chocolate usually from Sweetastic, and their link is down there in the description as well if you don't want to make your own modeling chocolate and you have the time to order some. And it is beautiful, beautiful modeling chocolate. Alright, so now we have our bud finished. I'm going to show you how to make our first petal. So we're going to make these I'm going to make roughly about, I don't know, 6 or 7, something like that. The first ones that we did were very thin, so we want to make the second ones a little bit thicker. Another thing you can do is once you slice off your piece, you can just knead until all the lumps are worked out. Roll it to a ball, and then pinch one side so it's one side center. And that just kind of helps with the bumps. But if you had good monoline chocolate, that wouldn't be a problem. That's just kind of a workaround. Make sure you check out my other tutorial on making sugar peonies. Sorry about the beeping. Make sure you check out my other tutorial on making sugar peonies, where I talk a little bit about monoline chocolate and some problems that it has and how to get around that. So then we're gonna form this on a spoon here. And you just place this right here. Press it down into the cup, and then you're just going to fold these tips, just like that. So now we have these nice formed petals, and I already have some here that I'm going to start attaching. You may or may not need a little bit of water to get them stick. You can also use corn syrup. We're gonna put our first one, just attach it just like that. And the side that's closest to you is going to be attached all the way down, and this side is going to be sort of unattached, and you'll see why is because we kind of slip the petals underneath each other when we get to the end. So I'm going to go to the next one. Unstick. Unstick, I say. This one is stuck to the spoon. Just like that. I'm just kind of holding it in my hand. Just pressing to seal here. There. And then the last one, lift up this petal, the first one, and we're going to slide that one just in there so that this overlaps. And that is the basis of our center rose. Okay? So we've got that. And then you take your larger piece of chocolate, and we're going to cut another chunk. I want it to be consistently thick. Keep that covered up. I'm just going to knead this real quick like we did the other one, because that worked well with these little lumps and stuff that I have. But normally you wouldn't have to re-knead this. You would just be able to form it just fine right after you slice it. So these are going to be bigger petals. Pinch the side so it's thin on one side and thick on the other. Use our spoon to thin out the edge. Then we're going to do the same thing. Just place that on the spoon. Fold down our edges, just like that. And I like to make all of my petals first and then go ahead and assemble them. So then, just like we did with the inside, we're going to attach our first petal. Should pretty much stick to itself. Remember to keep this back edge loose. On our next one. I should probably say to grease your spoons or something, because these are sticky. Try to play it cool. Keep attaching round and round. More. Lift up our last petal, stick that one in there, fold it back over, and And you might want to push them down a little bit. Tweak them. It's a nice thing about modeling chocolate. So it's pretty flexible still. So that's pretty much finished. You can add more petals if you want to make it a fuller rose, but this is a pretty good, you know, rose that's fast, it's easy, it's delicious, it looks really impressive, and it didn't take us a lot of time. You don't have to wait for any petals to dry, you don't have to do any crazy piping, and I have really warm hands and I'm able to do this, so you can do it too. So go ahead and ask me any questions that you have down in the comments, just like always. I'll see you guys next time.